Hello and welcome back to my channel, In the Divine. Today I want to talk to you about cryptocurrency. Are you curious about cryptocurrency but confused and scared because you've heard so many different things about it and you don't know what to think? I don't blame you. I felt exactly the same way until I dove in and bought some cryptocurrency myself. It was one of the most hard, frustrating, and complicated things that I've done. And because of that, I want to share what I learned with you. I'm Teresa Schley Valenzuela, psychic, medium, spiritual teacher, author, and transformational image consultant. So I had been hearing about cryptocurrency for a long time, just like you probably have. And I asked around, did a little research. This was probably like 2013, 2014. And I swear to God, like I could not make heads or tails of it. And it was so out there and nobody's really using it. I just said, this is way over my head. You know, if I miss it, I miss it. Too bad. It was just way too confusing. But recently, during the pandemic, I got a very strong psychic message from the light that cryptocurrency is the wave of the future, and I had to do something about it. And that's why I decided to film this video, not because I'm a cryptocurrency expert, but specifically because I'm a beginner and because the information I received was a psychic intuition download and not just something that I read online or I picked up from some financial advisor that I'm following. Now, I follow Dave Ramsey. I'm sure a lot of you know who he is. He's a financial expert and you know, he teaches a really simple message. I don't necessarily align with his religious philosophies 100%, but in terms of the information that his company puts out, it's super simple to follow, and it's the system that I follow to get out of debt. Getting out of debt was one of the smartest things I've ever done, and it has created so much financial freedom and abundance in my life. So that's step one. Step one before you do anything, before you buy cryptocurrency, is take a look at your debt and start handling your debt. Now, because I follow Dave Ramsey, you know, I'm a cash is king girl. I did everything with cash that I could. I don't have any credit cards. I have no debt. I have no credit balance. But what started to happen, like I went to Whole Foods one day during the pandemic, during, you know, social isolation, and they had stopped taking cash. And it was about the third place I had encountered that was no longer taking cash. But it was the first place I'd encountered specifically during social isolation that wasn't taking cash anymore. And something went off in my head, like I got this giant message that said, pay attention to what's happening right now. Then I took it into meditation, and of course I got my information, and that's what I'm sharing with you today. Now, what I want to start out with is the definition of cryptocurrency. As a spiritual teacher, as a teacher, someone who's translating information, sometimes I think the easiest thing to do is start with the literal definition of something. So I'm going to read the definition of cryptocurrency for those of you who don't know, okay? So cryptocurrency is a digital currency in which encryption techniques are used to regulate the generation of units of currency and verify the transfer of funds operating independently of a central bank. That's important. Decentralized cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin now provide an outlet for personal wealth that is beyond restriction and confiscation. That sounds cool, right? The problem with that is that cryptocurrency is not FDIC insured. So FDIC insured is what you see when you go to your local bank. FDIC stands for Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. It's an independent federal agency that insures deposits in U.S. banks and thrifts, which is another type of bank, in the event of a bank failure. What that means is you go to the bank, you put your money in the bank, it's FDIC insured up to, I think, $250,000. So if the bank fails, the government's going to step in and say, don't worry about it, I'll get you your money back. Cryptocurrency is not like that. Now, Bitcoin, which is a term that most people are throwing around, is a form of cryptocurrency. When all this started out and, the blockchain started out, Bitcoin was the only cryptocurrency available. Now there are multiple cryptocurrencies available. And if you know what you're doing, which I'm not going to say that I do, okay? If you're really experienced at playing with cryptocurrency, you can make a lot of money on these smaller cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is now Bitcoin was used to start small, and now it's huge. Okay, so sometimes it's easier to buy one of the smaller cryptocurrencies, and you can make more money with that. But the way it works is you have to buy Bitcoin first, and then have that Bitcoin translated into the other types of cryptocurrency. So here's why I wanted to communicate. This is pretty much the information that I got from the light from my guides, why it's important to consider buying Bitcoin right now. Because as most people have experienced, our governmental institutions that we rely on and we just grew up assuming we're always going to be there, they were pushed to their limits during this pandemic. And things happened that nobody believed in their lifetime were going to happen. So that's kind of a sign that it could get worse. Now, it may not get worse, but if it got worse, is your money still safe? Is it smart to start diversifying? And the answer to that is yes. However, cryptocurrency right now is like the wild, wild west back in the 1800s. It's like there's no sheriff in town. Okay, so like I said before, your money isn't protected. And also, the experience of cryptocurrency is global, it's not local. You don't just go to your local cryptocurrency place and you can deal with someone one-on-one and you can look at your banker in the eye. It's not like that. Like I bought some cryptocurrency and then I was gonna transfer it to Cryptarium, and the money was coming through an Eastern European country. I want to say Bosnia? I don't even remember now, but the transaction failed. And my bank was highly suspicious of everything that went on here, even though I'm sure it was legit, but because of the way it's done in a global way, there are multiple places where you can get hacked, which leads me to my next point. If you're going to buy cryptocurrency, approach it assuming you're going to get hacked. Do not have a Pollyanna belief about it. Do not assume that you can trust anybody, anything, any transaction, any website. You must be extremely careful at every step of the way. Personally, unfortunately, I'm here to say that I have been hacked in pretty much every way that you could possibly imagine. Somehow, some way, I've been a victim of cyber hacking and live to tell about it, okay? So I am really careful about what I do on a good day, but when it came to buying cryptocurrency, you just gotta assume that you're gonna get hacked. That doesn't mean you will get hacked, but you've got to be extra, extra, extra careful about that, okay? Do not buy any cryptocurrency. Do not make a cryptocurrency transaction until you have done some research. Now, the good news about that is there's a lot of research out there. You can Google and there's tons of stuff out there. The bad news out there, a lot of the information is shit. One of the biggest problems I had, and one of the things that made this, it took a week for me to complete these transactions. One of the reasons why it was so challenging is because most of the information out there is not created by instructional designers. Now, I'm an instructional designer. I design trainings. I design online trainings. I'm really good at taking complicated things and simplifying them. That's why I'm doing this work here, because I get messages from my higher self, from the spirit world, right? I talk to dead people, and they don't always talk in linear language. A lot of it is symbolic, so it's confusing. But I'm really good at taking that complicated, esoteric information and translating it into simple step-by-step actions. Most of the people out there, most of what I found that's supposed to be cybercurrency help out there is written by cybercurrency experts, which you would think that's a good thing, right? The only problem is if you're already an expert at something, sometimes you don't know how to chunk things down to the tiniest little detail. Like, I paid a lot of money for someone who had a system that was supposed to be no-brainer, will hold your hand step by step, and their training system was horrible. It was all over the place. It just wasn't designed for a true beginner. Luckily, I was able to get my money back, so it was not a good experience. One of the first things you're going to learn about Bitcoin is wallets. So the experts say, if you're going to buy some cryptocurrency, starting with Bitcoin, make sure and put it in a wallet if you're going to have it for a long time and you're not just going to immediately cash it out somewhere else. Well, so I went around searching for wallets when it turns out the place that I bought my cryptocurrency from had its own wallet. So I created like 3 different wallets because the process was so flippin' confusing. There's no tech support, or if there was tech support, but like I said, it's in some foreign country far, far away from where I live. You can't talk to someone on the phone. Nobody's gonna hold your hand. So it was like a big old hot mess. So if you buy from one of these cryptocurrency hubs, they usually have their own wallets, okay? So a wallet is like a little area where you can store your Bitcoin. It's all done online. You don't get little coins. There's nothing physical or tangible about it. It's not like a dollar bill or a gold coin, okay? So you have your cryptocurrency, and it's just like online stuff that just sits somewhere. It's a transaction of the financial, it's a record of the financial transaction you made. That's pretty much what Bitcoin is. So before I had $0 of Bitcoin, then I bought some Bitcoin, and now I have some money in Bitcoin, but it's just listed on someone's website, okay? Totally different way of doing business. Okay, like I said, the first thing you need to do is buy Bitcoin, and then you can transfer it in buying other types of coins. You don't want to buy other types of coins until you've done some research. I'm not here to help you with that. You got to do your own research, okay? One of the most important things I learned, and this is true in any type of investing, only invest what you can lose. It's like if you were going to go to Las Vegas today and you were one of those people who was just going to be super smart about it, you'd say, I can afford to lose, let's say, $50. If I go to Vegas for a weekend and I lose this $50, it's not my grocery money, it's not my rent money, it's not my child support money, I'm not gonna die, it's not gonna ruin my life if I lose the $50. If I make more money, great, but if I lose the if I say my limit's $50 and I lose $50, no harm, no foul, right? Now, you've probably heard about a lot of people who've lost a ton of money buying cryptocurrency. So that's what had scared me for so long. Well, this time I did some research and I looked around and I found out why people are losing money on Bitcoin, or they've like lost their fortune on Bitcoin. 99% of the people who've lost their fortune on Bitcoin, what they did is they bought Bitcoin using money that they needed for something else. In other words, they took their entire fortune, they're listening out to all the hype around cryptocurrency, right? They took their entire fortune or their entire savings and put it all into cryptocurrency, and then the market fell, and now they have no money. So, you know, cryptocurrency, the difference between fiat currency, which is dollar bills and coins, why they call it fiat, I do not know, but you can look that up. So the difference between fiat currency and cryptocurrency is that fiat currency you can hold in your hand, right? Cryptocurrency, like I said, is just an online transaction. The cryptocurrency market is similar to the stock market. Stock market can go up and down based on anything, right? Political situations, new products coming out, you name it. The stock market is always up and down. So you got to know what you're doing if you're playing the stock market. Cryptocurrency is the same way. So if I took $50 today, bought some Bitcoin today, I could turn around tomorrow and my money would be worth much less because of what's happening in the cryptocurrency market, or it could be worth more. So the idea about this is to have kind of a set it and forget it mentality. That's why I said use money that you can afford to lose. Don't use your rent money. Don't, for God's sake, borrow money to buy Bitcoin. That's also why a lot of people lost money, because they just wanted to go all in. So they borrowed money to buy a bunch of cryptocurrency. Then the market crashed. Now, not only are they out all their money, they're out the money that they're supposed to be paying someone back. Don't do that, okay? All right, every time you move the money around, you're charged a fee. So when you buy it, you're charged a fee. Plus, like if you buy it on a credit card, you may be charged a fee by your bank just to use your credit card. Then the cryptocurrency terminal charges you a fee. Then if you want to take that Bitcoin and buy a different type of cryptocurrency, they're going to charge you a fee. If you want to take, let's say you made a bunch of money, let's say your cryptocurrency doubled and you want to take some of that out, it's totally fine. They're going to charge you for that. So everybody gets a bite of the pie. It's different than a bank, right? If you go to the bank and you put a deposit in, you can get your deposit out, same amount of money. That's fiat currency. Cryptocurrency is totally different. So be prepared that everybody's standing in line to take a bite of your pie, okay? So the $50 that you put in, it can be, depending on the day, It can be more than 50, less than 50, up to 100, less than 100. It's not a one-to-one relationship. It's fluctuating. Okay, don't just wake up on a Monday and go, I'm gonna buy some cryptocurrency today and think you're gonna get the whole thing set up. Like you could go online and do a bunch of searches and they'll say, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, there's your cryptocurrency, yay. Okay, no. It literally took me a week, an incredibly stressful week, to complete 2 transactions. And that's because, I called my financial advisor in the middle of this and I'm like, can I move some money around? Because I'm so frustrated. I'm trying to get some, my bank won't verify me. I work with a credit union. They won't verify the purchase and I'm totally frustrated. And she said, Teresa, you do not want to be quickly verified by anybody. If it's about your money, you want the bank or whatever verifying agency to take their time to verify you. Because if it's too easy for someone to get in here and buy this risky product, there's more opportunity for fraud that way. And I just went, oh my God, this is why I love you. This is a brilliant woman. That's Pamela Carter at UBS in Newport Beach, okay? I love her. And that's when I said, okay, I need to calm down. Like I was so driven to complete this fucking purchase because so frustrating. Okay, and there's no tech support. And like I said, it's like global. I don't know what country I'm buying this stuff from, where they're housed, where their tech support is. It was so hard. And then the software that's supposed to be verifying you, it was really wonky. I mean, I can't even tell you, it was the most stressful thing. So I'm telling you right now, nothing I read online told me that. Now, you may be one of those people who have a completely blissful experience buying Bitcoin, and that's just lovely. But I'm telling you right now, be prepared. Just take it one step at a time. It might take a while. So let's say that you have $3,000 available to invest in Bitcoin, okay? You go in there and you think, I'm gonna transfer $3,000 from my bank and I'm gonna purchase some Bitcoin first, right? Because you wanna buy other cryptocurrency later. I'm gonna go to a cryptocurrency hub. I'm going to go to a cryptocurrency hub and buy some Bitcoin. And I'm gonna take my $3,000 and buy that Bitcoin. Well, sorry, $3,000 is over their limit. You only get a super, super tiny little limit if you're a first-time buyer. So, it just takes a really long time to get this stuff done. One of the sites I read said it could take up to a month to get verified. And I just said, hell no. Luckily, it didn't take me that long. Like I said, it took a week, but it was extremely frustrating. Something else to consider when you're buying cryptocurrency is that cryptocurrencies have unique ways of securing your information. Like I said, it's like the Wild Wild West. It's easily hackable. So there are certain things set into place to protect your purchase. One of those things is called a key. It's called a crypto key. A lot of the crypto keys are a random string of 12 to 13 words. So they're just randomly generated. And so you're making the purchase and then you generate a key and they give you 12 words. You've got to write those down somewhere. You've got to save them somewhere. You got to put them somewhere. Because once you've made that transaction and it's connected to a particular key, like those 12 words are the key, if you lose that key, you're out the money. If you want to go back in and say, okay, I'm going to take the profit from my cryptocurrency and you don't have a way to access your 12-word key, bye-bye money. That's another way people lose money. You may have heard a story about a guy, he was in the UK, and he had his cryptocurrency keys stored on his laptop. And he just set the laptop aside somewhere. I guess he bought a new laptop, and he was going through his house and decided to get rid of a lot of stuff. Well, he accidentally, got rid of the laptop that had his, I think he had it on a thumb drive in the laptop or something about the laptop. Anyway, a laptop ended up in a landfill. And I think he had over $1 million in cryptocurrency. And because he had stored his crypto keys on that laptop, they're gone. He even petitioned to have someone let him go in the landfill and dig around for his laptop, and he wasn't able to do that. So he's out like $1 million in cryptocurrency. What the original value of that cryptocurrency is, I don't know, because apparently he had bought it years ago. So he didn't pay $1 million, but it's worth $1 million now. So can you imagine how crazy you'd feel if that happened to you? So you've got to, it's almost like you're walking around with cash, and if you let it go in the wind, it's gone. You can't get it back. You can't go to the bank and go, oops, I let go of my my $100 bills in the wind. Can you give me another set? It doesn't work like that. So it's your responsibility to keep track of the keys and the passwords for all your cryptocurrency accounts. Now, there's a few different ways to do that. One is what they call a paper wallet, and that just means you write it down on a piece of paper or you create a document and you save it somewhere. That's not the best method, but it is a method. Okay. There's also a software backup. So you could, there's different places that you can back up your software. So you would store your crypto keys somewhere on software in your computer, and you would back up your software, so you always have a copy of that. There's also hardware wallets, and I looked into those, and they are kind of pricey right now. Like they're up around $80 to over $100, some like $125. I just feel like the problem with that is technology changes so rapidly that if I put $115 into a hardware wallet today, and then a couple years from now, oops, technology changes, that technology's out of date, then you know what? You're going to charge me another $150 or whatever for a hardware wallet? Like, I wasn't feeling that. But here's the thing, I do recommend a fireproof safe. Now, this is just even off the topic of cryptocurrency. As a general rule, I do recommend having a fireproof safe in your house. You can keep, an extra copy of your will, any kind of family trust, any kind of deeds to the house, maybe not the only copy, but an extra copy. Anything that you would want, that is a relatively small size that you would want to survive a fire in your house, get a fireproof safe. So one of the things I did is I wrote out all my crypto keys, and I have them in my fireproof safe. So that's just one idea. And like I said, there are other options for you to create wallets to store your crypto information. It's very important. It's one of the ways to keep your information safe. And also, what the experts do recommend is once you've bought cryptocurrency, if you're planning on holding on to it, which I recommend, move it off the site where you purchased it and hold it in an external wallet. That's a lot to consider. But again, I highly recommend, if you've been afraid of buying cryptocurrency up to now, now's the time to do it. Our world, as you know, as of 2020, has changed so much. And the less we rely on our traditional ideas about safe government, safe finances, the better off we're going to be. In America alone, we have handed out so much stimulus money because of the pandemic. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. However, it has affected our governmental budget, right? We didn't just pull that money out of our ass. Like, that money had to come from somewhere else. It's going to come from social services. It's going to come from other things that we rely on for the government. So it's putting a huge burden on the government. And, we go to sleep at night thinking that we have a strong government, but we've never had a pandemic like this before. I mean, it's been 100 years. And obviously, the financial world was much different then. So again, the reason why I recommend buying Bitcoin right now is because of the information that was channeled from my guides, which is spot on for what is happening in the world right now. Last thing I wanted to say about this is, when you're out somewhere that doesn't take cash, ask them if they take cryptocurrency. The more you talk about cryptocurrency, the more you are able to work with cryptocurrency and use cryptocurrency, the more commonplace it's going to be. So let's say that you have your local coffee place, and this happened to me. I went to a new coffee place close to my house, and they just said, sorry, we're not taking any cash right now. So I said to them, do you take cryptocurrency? And they're like, oh no, we don't take that yet. So imagine if you're that same coffee place and you've got 50 people coming in and saying, well, you're not going to take my cash. Do you take cryptocurrency? They're going to start to pay attention and say, hey, maybe we should start having the ability to give and receive cryptocurrency, because there are places that are doing that. So if you decide to take the plunge with cryptocurrency, back it up with your full, your full social currency, and start talking about it. Talk to your friends about it. Talk to businesses about it. If they don't take cash, ask if they take cryptocurrency. It will eventually catch on. The more places that take cryptocurrency, the more valuable your cryptocurrency can be. It was one of the problems when Bitcoin first came out. It's like, okay, blockchain, nice idea, but what can I do with it? And now more and more places are taking it. Hope that information helped. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I invite you to subscribe to the In the Divine channel. And if you have any requests for information you'd like to know about, let me know in the comments. Thanks so much. Can't wait to connect with you again.